Hello, and welcome to the very first Walk Around video blog. Um, I hope at some point to come up with a slightly catchier name for this, but as of now, Walk Around video blogs will be sufficient. I'm Kenneth Walker. I've been running the Walk Around website since December 2010. Um, Everything on there, with the exception of one review I've written. Um, that was the guest posting by Stuart Hepworth, who did a brief overview of the Lord of the Rings series, if I remember correctly. Um, what I want to start out with today is explaining a couple of things. First off is I want you all to be aware that I know that the audio and the video of this first video are going to be poor. Um, I'm still using the built-in systems on my laptop to record this, so the built-in mic and the built-in webcam, um, neither of which are the best. Uh, the microphone picks up a lot of background noise, including the computer, so there's probably going to be a constant whirring in the background of this video. I hope that's not too much of a disturbance, and that you can try and push through the video. The other thing is, you will probably notice me stop every now and again. That will be me watching the clock, because this is the second time I've done this. The first time YouTube told me it was way too long, which it probably was, now that I look back on it. A little too long to be enjoyably watchable. So I'm going to try to keep this one short. And if I don't get to everything that I want to get to today, I will make it a two-parter, just so that I have enough time to get to everything I'd like to, and I'm not rushing. Um, the first thing I want to start with is the alloy of law, which I've been talking about for forever on the realm. I've I've owed all of you a review of that book for a couple of months now, and I just decided I'm going to do it here in this format. An LA of Law is your basic Brandon Sanderson novel. It's he's just one of the best writers I have ever had the pleasure of reading. He goes above and beyond what is necessary when it comes to world building, um, and character development, magic system creation. It's so unbelievably in depth that the world really does come alive. It's extremely believable, um, especially with this most recent book, The Alloy of Law, which takes place in a pseudo Old West kind of a world. Um, this book is kind of a follow up to the Mistborn series, which I've reviewed on the Realm, which took place in a feudal system kind of setup. Um, Whereas this one takes place about 300 years after the final events of that third book. Um, and things have changed immensely. The whole world has begun to industrialize. Steam power has been created, electric lights, guns, all this fantastic stuff that you normally don't see in Sanderson writing. He's he tends to focus on the high fantasy aspect almost, or not necessarily high fantasy, but your basic fantasy with no technology magic as these as technology. But here we see him kind of moving over to urban fantasy. It's not the most um, adequate term for what he's done with this, because urban fantasy really doesn't capture quite what he's done with this novel, but it's the best term that I know, that I can use to put this book in a perspective for you guys without reading it. Um, we follow the life of Wexilian, um, who had, for the better part of his life, been a lawkeeper in the roughs, which is your generic OK Corral kind of place, somewhere out where there really isn't a whole lot of law, a lot of people doing a lot of bad things, and he's been spending most of his life trying to prevent that kind of thing from happening. Um, he has to come back to the main city, however, when his uncle and his entire family is killed, um, by accident when they were traveling to, I can't quite remember where, I think their outer estates. But, gotta watch my time. But, Wexlium has to come back to take up the family titles, responsibilities. There's a lot of workers that are dependent on that house. So he comes back and decides, or realizes that he has to do the duty of his family, which is, in his mind, to take a wife and have children. So he tries, looking around. I mean, um, doesn't have a whole lot of luck. He's not overly well liked by the rest of the upper class there, just because of his mildly brutish um, demeanor, a result of living in the roughs for so long. Um, but he makes do, and he does find an interesting candidate. Um, Unfortunately, very very early on in their courtship, she gets kidnapped by a group of people who have been pulling off some rather fantastic robberies, so far in this novel. Excuse me. And at the bequest of her father, Waxlium goes out to save her, um, and he brings a couple of friends, and you just have a great time reading this book. It's very very fun. And the magic is still there, same as it was in the trilogy, the Mistborn trilogy. It's a little different. Sanderson has combined a couple of the different types of magic, which is explained through interbreeding with groups that until then just couldn't, because they were kept locked away by the evil character of of that trilogy. So again, magic system is fantastic in this book. Um, so very very highly recommended. Anything written by Brandon Sanderson, I highly recommend. Um, it's about all the time I have to talk about that. And so the other thing I wanted to chat with you all about was Minecraft, and how that effectively took over my life for most of the beginning of last summer, and to some extent, I still put a lot of time into that game. Um, Basically, it's your kind of a it's very difficult to explain. Let me put that there. It's difficult to explain in a way that's going to make it sound interesting until you actually play it. The best thing about Minecraft is its incredible creativity. Um, the amounts of creativity you can put into it, because there are no bounds to what you can do with this. The worlds are so enormous, and your ability to build is unlimited, almost. Um, and the things you can build, are fantastic. I personally spent a couple of weeks building the mines of Moria, and Isengard. um, and other people have made builds that are 100 times larger. Minas Tirith, for excuse me, for one, that's been made. People have made scale replicas of the Death Star, um, the Enterprise from Star Trek. I mean, you name it, someone somewhere has built it, and there's a video of it on YouTube. And it's that amount of creativity that's just so addicting, because you can sit there all day and build these things, and you never get bored of it. Um, the other hugely entertaining part of it is its multiplayer aspect. There are an almost infinite number of multiplayer servers running at any given time, and you and some of your friends can join anyone you want for the most part, um, and just start making yourselves homes there in that world, and building up the goals, and just trying to show up every other person on that server by the awesome things you can build. But, and I hope I'm explaining this well enough, it really is a game you have to play to realize its value. Um, and sure, there are still going to be some people who think it's ridiculously stupid. When I first saw the first images of Minecraft, I was one of those people. I couldn't imagine ever wanting to play that game. But I did, and I love it now. And this is important, it's very cheap. Half the price of any brand new Xbox game. It's I think it's only $27, which is much nicer than having to spend 60, which is a lot for a college student. And that certainly makes the decision much easier. Well, I've probably talked enough about Minecraft right now. Hope that wasn't too boring. Um, that's about all I have for this particular video. I had some stuff that I had in the first one, but because of my time constraints, I won't be able to do those in this episode, and I hadn't planned on doing them in this episode. But for now, what I'd like to do is kind of open the floor up to you guys. Um, in the comments, please give me your thoughts and ideas on anything. If you know of a really good headset that I can use, something that's not too terribly expensive, but that's going to get me the audio quality that I want. Because honestly, audio is a much higher priority for me. Video is not that big of a deal. As long as you guys can understand me and everything I say, that's what's important. We can work out the video later, because it is usually the more expensive part. But or any other ideas you have, things I could do in these videos, something I whatever, whatever you guys think would make for good segments. Whether it's doing some Ask Ken questions in this format, um, or continuing reviews like this. I reviewed the Alloy of Law. Is that a good thing? Did you guys enjoy that? Should I try and keep that to text reviews only and do something else with these videos? I am very interested to hear what any of you have to say on that. And that's the end of this video. Enjoy your day. I hope you all are reading something great or writing something even better. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.